truly beautiful magic to work with. There is something so absolutely gorgeous, energetically speaking, about flowers and how we can use fresh, living, blossoming and blooming flowers in our magical workings. I've come full circle throughout my life. I was never really that drawn to flowers in the same way that I am in this season of my life. I now look to grow flowers in my own garden, and I'm being very particular and specific about the types of flowers that I wish to bring into my magical garden. There are quite a few flowers that I like to craft with, and one of the most important baths, ritual baths, ablutions that happens within my family's practice takes place with a very specific type of rose. White roses are one of my most sought after flowers. As a folk witch, whenever I see a white rose, I cannot walk past it. I simply cannot walk past it. I must use it. It's fresh flowers, it's fresh petals in my magic, because white roses is sacred to Oshala, Oshala, and is one of the most blessing, cleansing, clearing, healing types of ritual bath ingredients that I have ever used throughout my entire practice. Over the years, I've literally run around all of town, all the towns that I've ever lived in, looking high and low for white roses. It came a time in my life where I was actually purchasing bunches of white roses at an extravagant cost. This I must say. And now that I live somewhere where roses are rather prevalent, I find myself naturally foraging for roses in the yards of many of my friends. Honestly, the energy of flowers within magic is so delicate. I find that flowers, especially fresh flower petals, actually do work at creating a very unique web of energy within a spell. There is something of a vital essence to be found within a very fresh petal of a flower. The same could be said about any herb bundle that you harvest fresh. There is something of that vital essence to be found, that resonating life force within fresh flowers and fresh herbs. But when it comes to flowers, there is a delicate, feminine, sacred, magical, powerful, healing, emotional ebb and flow of energy. There is such promise, such beauty, such potential in flowers. And the language of flowers is something that I find to be utterly remarkable. Sherilyn Darcy is very well known for her Language of Flowers oracle, but she's also very, very well known for her understanding of flower magic. And she's written a couple of books, if I do recall correctly, and they are well worth a read, because the more we understand the botanical kingdom around us, the more we can work with that vital energy and that magic. Now, this we know. Understanding there's a horsey. Understanding what is around you in your biosphere is always an incredible thing. It's always a very necessary thing. It's about knowing your backyard, understanding what tools you have available to you. And make no mistake, plants, the botanical kingdom, are tools for the witch. I have been writing a Petition ebook for my Coven, and one of the lines that I was editing this morning, or one of the paragraphs I should say that I was editing this morning, spoke of your hand touching your magic. I like my hand to be involved in my magic as much as possible. So for me, the ways in which I can incorporate my will, my magic, my energy, and my touch and my understanding, I'll take that. So where I have never been a gardener before, I'm a gardener now. Where I've never really had the opportunity to truly play with a cornucopia of botanicals, I do now. And it is my responsibility as the type of witch that I am, as a folk witch, to get to know what it is that can be cultivated, that can be grown, how it can be used. There is a certain magic to the living world, to the green world. There really is. I can't tell you that I know everything about it, because I certainly don't. I don't strive to be a master herbalist. I don't strive to be a naturopath. I don't strive to be somewhat of an authority. What I do strive to do regularly is to understand energetically the magical principles of everything that I am able to work with. And flowers are something that feel in part very new to me. I can't tell you how long it's been since I have had access to roses the way that I have access to roses where I live right now. This is not the first time that I've spoken of roses on my channel, and it won't be the last, of course, but there is something about having this ancestral plant around me. If you're wanting something of a more practical piece of advice from me right now, I would say that when it comes to roses in particular, yes, I recommend spiritual baths, ablutions, because you are going to be capturing the living essence of those plants. Now, it takes a lot of rose petals to give it that punch, that real rose punch, and I find that it is a utter shame to desecrate a rose bush. So take what you need and then supplement it with essential oils and different herbs to bolster it. Herbs that align with the same type of energy and the same type of magic that you are aiming to achieve by selecting your rose. Take this blue moon. It's rather big. It's a rather big rose when compared to this little one right here. Or this one right here. Look at how beautiful that is. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. I would typically use somewhere in the vicinity of 3 to 4 of these rose heads, you could call them. Oh, look. Oh, that's blessed. So you do need a good amount of the petal of the flower. And I prefer to work with rose energy, especially for delicate matters and for ritual baths during the new moon, when the lunar energy is very, very, very young and fresh. These beautiful orangey yellow roses like this are great in success magic and in creative performance magic. When they are small and orange like this, they are even better. Pink roses are wonderful for gentle love, for family love, for friendship and kindred spirit type of love. When you have love and connection between two people, it's a non-amorous type of love. It is such a beautiful kinship, and this is the color that I would go with. It's also good for babies, it's also good for children, it's also good for mothers and daughters. This is the blue moon. I had never before in the flesh seen a purple rose, and when I saw it I knew I needed to have one. So I do have my own blue moon rose at home. However, this is a rose for feminine ritual, for psychic ritual for intuitive development, for spirituality. It pairs beautifully with selenite, and it pairs beautifully with amethyst, of course. And if you want to give it a little heat, pair it with some charite. We have a bold pink fuchsia, some might say, rose. This is women power right here. There is such a Venetian quality to this one. It's beauty, but it's beauty with punch. It's beauty with sass. This is the rose that says, go out there and slay. This beautiful apricot white rose is a rose that I enjoy using for love magic. Now, it may seem counterproductive to use such a rose for love magic, because typically speaking many use red rose, but I find that red rose is more about power and assertion, and this beautiful pure rose is something that you would give to someone to show your purity of intention in a very beautiful and romantic way. So get amongst it, my beautiful witches, my beautiful folk magical practitioners, my beautiful green witches, my beautiful beginner witches, my beautiful traditional witches. You all know what I'm talking about when it comes to settling into your environment and getting to know the language of the natural magic around you. So leave a comment. Tell me how you work with rose. Tell me what type of rose you use for what type of magic. Tell me what kind of flower you prefer to work with. Tell me if you have an ancestral flower, an ancestral plant. I want to hear all about your many colorful, magical, wild, and adventurous ways in which you connect with your biosphere and the plant, and particularly the flower kingdom or queendom around you. Take care, beautiful witches. Look after yourselves. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Like this video if you have enjoyed it. And I will be back with another one very, very soon. See ya.